Hello and welcome back everyone, we Weeb Online, and today I'm gonna continue the series What If FMQ gave Naruto the Ultimate Dojutsu Part 13. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and to watch more videos like this, subscribe to my channel and turn that bell notification on so you never miss an upload. Now wasting no more time, let's begin.
Hokage, Tsunade yelled, and the crowd erupted. Everyone stood there watching as Naruto threw a shuriken that Tenzo easily blocked. But then the blonde threw 3 more, forcing the Anbu to take a small evasive action. Naruto kept throwing shuriken after shuriken at them all. When he saw the Anbu dodge, the blonde burst out laughing. He eventually stopped his assault and made a hand sign. Ninpo, Kumo shuriken, Naruto yelled as a slew of shuriken rained down on Tenzo. As everyone watched shuriken drop to the ground one after the other, the Anbu quickly grabbed his sword and parried all of the shots. He'll have to do better than that to beat an Anbu, someone said as Anko waved them away. Don't worry, he's just getting started, said the Tokubetsu Jonin as everyone continued to watch the match. O was taking precise action to keep an eye on Naruto for the duration of the match. He knew a fight like this wouldn't happen again. Meanwhile, Tenzo had finished parrying all of the shuriken that had fallen at his feet. As he resheathed his sword, the Anbu secretly smirked. Not bad, Uzumaki Namikaze-san. But you should do a better job. Of Tenzo came to a halt as he looked up to see Naruto had vanished. The shuriken were just a distraction to get out of Anbu's way. Tenzo sighed and took a look around. He was an Anbu, but he lost sight of his objective. He had to admit that he had made a mistake. As everyone looked up, a flash of light appeared in the air. They all noticed Naruto grinning maniacally as he charged for Tenzo. As Naruto yelled, the Anbu narrowed his eyes. Udama Rasengan, yelled the blonde as he slammed his Rasengan into the ground, causing it to explode. Tenzo backed away from the explosion as Naruto rose to his feet. The Uzumaki Namikaze clenched his fists and quickly pulled out a scroll. If you don't get serious, you're in for a world of hurt, Naruto warned, biting his thumb. He twirled the scroll for a few moments before slamming it to the ground. Kuchios, Seishmokudakichi, Naruto yelled as the ground beneath their feet began to crumble. Tenzo looked around as the ground began to crumble. He smiled back at Naruto, and the ground split apart, creating a massive hole that surprised everyone. Naruto and Tenzo both jumped back. People began to cheer as they saw the semi-destroyed field. I see you're serious, Naruto-san, Tenzo said, but I've still been holding back, Naruto nodded. He'd expect nothing less from a Konoha Anbu. Well, this is unusual, I've never known Tenzo to be so eager to fight, Kakashi said as Kiba tapped his shoulder, drawing the copy ninja's attention to his student. What can you tell us about this Tenzo guy, Kakashi-sensei? Tiba inquired as everyone turned to the Jonin. Kakashi sighed as he narrowed his eyes at Tenzo's smile. I can't say much because he's an Anbu, but he's one of the best in Anbu for a reason, and the only people who were better than him were Itachi and myself. You're all about to see something impressive about him as well, Kakashi said to them, and everyone turned back to see Tenzo doing his hand signs. Tenzo yelled, Mokuten Kuraimori, shocking almost everyone, including Naruto. Would release. How does he know the first Hokage's jutsu? No one's ever been able to do that, Haku said as she researched Konoha's history. Wow, I never thought I'd see a Mokuten user, Tsum said, laughing quietly. Meanwhile, Naruto narrowed his eyes as the ground beneath him engulfed him in a tangle of trees. The blonde cursed as he noticed Tenzo smile and fold his arms. I didn't see that coming, Naruto said as he struggled to get out, but Tenzo shook his head. Sorry, Naruto-san, but those trees are the strongest you'll ever meet, and they can be destroyed so easily, Tenzo said, and Naruto narrowed his eyes and lightly chuckled. He had tons of ways out of this, but the most fun would be to shock Tenzo himself a little. Then you should know that nothing is going to keep me down for long. Amaterasu, Naruto yelled as he strained his eyes over the trees, and everyone else's eyes widened as the black flames engulfed the trees. It didn't take long for Naruto to jump down and quickly dispose of the flames before they reached anywhere else. Tenzo chuckled at the blonde, while Naruto's eyes raged with the Sharingan. Well, you certainly are full of surprises, Tenzo said, and Naruto shrugged his shoulders. That's me, I guess, Naruto said as he blurred out of sight. Tenzo narrowed his eyes as he blocked a kick aimed at his face. He quickly pivoted his foot and sidestepped Naruto's form as he sent a punch to the blonde. Naruto landed on the ground and easily ducked, but he failed to see the small feint in time and was kicked across the face. The blonde cursed his luck as people gasped. Uzumaki Namikaze-san, was that too fast for you? Tenzo inquired, and Naruto narrowed his eyes. He didn't dare use the Byakugan because he was aware of some of its flaws. Tenzo could overcharge his chakra and blind Naruto, leaving the blonde vulnerable. Compound Namikaze. He appears to be being pushed back. His opponent, however, is an Anbu Teyuya, like everyone else, was watching, and Nanabe narrowed her eyes as the others wondered if Naruto was okay. He is patiently waiting. I'm not sure what it is, but that blonde is waiting for something. I'm curious what it is. Nanabe had a thought, and Kushina, unbeknownst to her, had the same thought. He's not finished yet. Naruto-kun is more powerful than this. We're all aware of it, Fu said, and Kasumi nodded in agreement. Yujiro was looking around in awe. She'd never seen anything like what she was seeing, and Nebai felt the same way. Well, he's unique. I can't wait to see the rest, Nebai said to her, and Yujiro nodded, refusing to take their gaze away from the ball in front of them. Naruto is back. Naruto grinned as he wiped blood from his mouth, gritting his teeth, and rising to his feet. Perhaps you'd like to give up right now, Tenzo inquired, and Naruto rose to his feet, chuckling as he returned his attention to his opponent. No, thank you. I'm having a great time, Naruto said as he charged at Tenzo again. The Anbu sighed as he blocked one of Naruto's punches, but the blonde wasn't about to be finished as he wanted one attack on the Anbu. The two went into a taijutsu frenzy, destroying the field while the dust gathered around them. So, who do you think will win, Daimyo-sama? Tsunade inquired and his advisors turned to face the man in question, who grinned and waved his fan over his mouth. That blonde brat has my vote, whether he wins or not. I hope he succeeds. Tsunade nodded as the daimyo responded, hoping Naruto did as well. Finally, Naruto kicked Tenzo in the face, sending him into the wall. The blonde sighed and wiped his brow. He still had a few ideas in his head, and now was a good time to try them out as Tenzo regrouped. Naruto closed his eyes and placed his hand on the ground. Kyuubi-chan, this will be my first attempt at using the steps we've learned. I'm not sure if it will work, but it's worth a shot, Naruto told her, and Kyuubi nodded. Naruto sighed and breathed easily as he placed his chakra into the ground. Yin liberation. The control over imagination. Hyuso, come on, Naruto said in thought, hoping he got it down because he was out of time when Tenzo yelled. Mokuten, Jubaku Iso, sending multiple tree binds at Naruto. The blonde widened his eyes and quickly backed away from them, but noticed that they were following him. The blonde cursed as he was forced to run around the field, then got an idea and ran straight for Tenzo. Daten, Doriheki, Tenzo yelled, erecting a small wall between himself and Naruto. There was no way Naruto would turn his own jutsu back on him, but Tenzo seemed to be still underestimating Naruto. TSGA, Naruto yelled as he spun violently at the wall, slamming into it and causing it to crumble apart, shocking Tenzo. But the Anbu quickly jumped out of the way of Naruto's attack, but he saw the faintest smirk across the blonde's face as he stopped and skidded on the ground, and Tenzo sighed. Naruto-san, I can see why you made Tokubetsu Jonin. You have a lot of talent, Tenzo spoke up, and Naruto rose to his feet. Thank you, I try, Naruto said as he rubbed the back of his head, but Tenzo's gaze became cold as he went through his hand signs, and Naruto narrowed his eyes as he braced himself for anything. However, you have reached the final stage. Everything I did was to set you up for this trap, and you fell right into it, Tenzo said. And Naruto narrowed his eyes, then widened them as he looked around the field, which was completely surrounded by wood and trees, while Tenzo finished his hand signs. Uzumaki Namikaze-san is gone. You are not prepared to be the Hokage. I had a good time, Tenzo said as he slammed his fist into the ground. Daten, Dorikatsu, Tenzo yelled as the ground began to split in two. Naruto widened his eyes as he felt the earth beneath him split, slightly cursing as he tried to stick his chakra to the ground, but it was too steep and the blonde dropped down. Tenzo yelled, Daten, Doryuso, and numerous spears appeared in the sides of the two earth walls as he slammed it one more time, widening their eyes as they gasped at what Tenzo was about to do. He'd never go that far, would he? Tsume inquired. While Kakashi narrowed his eyes, everyone was on the edge of their seats. While Kiba and Haku feared the worst, they all knew what he was going to do. He was going to close the two divided wall, impaling whoever was inside with the spikes. Tenzo, Yugao screamed, but the Anbu turned away. Daten, Chaiki Worm, Tenzo yelled as he closed the two earth walls, which closed tightly as everyone gasped and remained silent because Tenzo was the only one on the field. Fu, Kasumi, and Teyuya's eyes widened, while Kimamero's narrowed, Kushina glared, and Yujiro wondered if all Anbu were that unforgiving. Did that jerk just die? Teyuya pondered as Kasumi gulped, and everyone else in the compound remained silent until Kimamero said something that calmed them all down. He's not giving up. Naruto-sama knows when to take things seriously. Kimamero said this because he knew Naruto was stronger than that. Back at the field, Tenzo bowed to Tsunade, feeling some of the disdain people had for him, but doing what he had to. Well, Uzumaki Namikaze-san, you have the sympathy of the crowd, Tenzo thought as he looked up at his Hokage. Call it Hokage-sama, Tenzo said as people closed their eyes, and Kurenai and Anko balled their fists. It wasn't going down that way, not if they knew Naruto like they did. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze cannot fight. The winner is as follows. Tsunade came to a halt as she looked at the ground, raising an eyebrow like everyone else. It was steaming with heat. The steam was easily coming out of the ground below Tenzo, and the Anbu raised an eyebrow. He looked down at the ground before the smiles returned to people's faces. Sand converged around Tenzo's feet, making the Anbu widen his eyes. He quickly jumped, but the sand grabbed him in. That was really close. I might have died if I hadn't made it as the stadium roared again. Naruto chuckled and raised his fist in the air. I'm not going to die until I become Hokage and win this tournament. Tasumi and Fu cheered, while Teuya widened her eyes. Kimamaro chuckled slightly, as did Kushina and Nanabi. Yujito gently smiled as she felt slightly relieved, and Tsunade sighed as she leaned back in her chair. Damn you, brat. I was worried about him, Darui. And C all chuckled at the same time as she rubbed her temples. He's very resourceful. I can't imagine having to deal with him. Darui nodded as C spoke. He's far from boring. This stadium is erupting with applause for this man, Darui spoke, and nodded, while Naruto narrowed his eyes at Tenzo. I'll be the last man standing, Databeo. If you think I'm going to give up easily, you're in for a surprise. It makes no difference what you do because I will not give up without a fight. As he closed his fist, Naruto said. Sabaku Soso. Naruto yelled as his sand crushed Tenzo, but the Anbu escaped as Naruto sighed. Shikaku-san. Naruto yelled, drawing attention to the Nara's presence as people speculated on what Naruto might say. Shikamaru rolled his eyes before grinning. I'm sorry for what I've done to you and your clan, but I hope you'll forgive me as I use this, Naruto said as he got down on one knee, causing Shikaku to narrow his eyes. Kagemain no Jutsu, the blonde yelled, casting his shadow at Tenzo. Shikaku sighed. The blonde was truly troublesome in every sense of the word. Tenzo dodged Naruto's shadow but missed the blonde's Shinseinaken, so Naruto sent his sand towards the Anbu as well. Tenzo gasped as he dodged Naruto's sand as well. He was moving fast to dodge them both and immediately stopped when Naruto's shadow was out of range. Is that all you have, Naruto-san? Tenzo inquired, and the blonde shrugged. No, but you've walked right into my trap. I've got you now, Naruto said this with a single hand sign. Kai, the blonde yelled as Tenzo looked down and dropped down a deep hole in the ground, which, like his jutsu, was too steep to allow for escape or clinging to the walls as Naruto approached it. You're not the only one who can put someone in a hole, Naruto said, balling his fist and smiling as he touched the ground. Thanks to Yin's release, I learned my first jutsu, using the imagination and chakra to make something real. Right down there as well, I won't say. Ninpo, Hachinai Zetsubo no HK. A samurai film, Naruto yelled as he closed the hole, and the sand around him was immediately channeled into the ground as the blonde sent it for Tenzo, who smiled and closed his eyes. There was a muffled explosion beneath the ground, causing it to shake for a few moments as Naruto got to his feet. That's how you do things. Naruto sighed as he released the technique, and everyone saw Tenzo with his armor broken and his body severely injured, huffing as he knelt. Naruto-san, that was a very good underhanded attack. Hokage-sama, I concede. Tenzo huffed loudly, and Tsunade nodded. Winner, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, Tsunade yelled, prompting the Jonin and Chunin to applaud. Everyone whistled and cheered as Naruto and Tenzo walked off the field, sat down, and were being tended to by Shizune and the other medic Nin. Excellent work, Naruto-kun. You accomplished it. Haku said this as the blonde kissed him on the cheek. Thank you very much, Haku-chan. I thought it was over, but I had a good time. Tsunade chuckled as she stood to her feet, and everyone nodded. Tsunade yelled, next fight, Anko Mitarashi vs Shikaku Nara, but Nara raised his hand. I give up, Hokage-sama. I'm not interested in the Hokage position. I'll take the paperwork because when I'm done, I'll be able to sleep. Anything else would be a complete waste of time. For all I care, let Anko and Naruto fight it out. Shikaku yawned as some people criticized him. That's the Nara clan's laziness for you, said, and Tsunade nodded. Naruto groaned as Anko chuckled and raised her hand. I, too, give up, Hokage-sama. I know it's not typical of me, and while I'd love nothing more than to take down my sensei, I know I can't. Plus, sitting behind a desk all day doing paperwork is not my style. I want to be free, and if that means doing paperwork, so be it. Furthermore, you should give the position to someone who truly desires it and has earned it. Do you think Naruto fits that description? Anko rubbed the back of her head, knowing she was missing the fight of a lifetime. But she was one of Naruto's students and got to fight him every day, so she wasn't really missing much. Tsunade and everyone else stared at the snake mistress, as this wasn't like her at all. Naruto sighed as he wiped the sweat from his brow. Tsunade smiled, as did everyone else, and turned to A, who nodded, then to the daimyo of the Land of Fire, who also nodded. Tsunade raised her hand as people laughed. Tsunade yelled, "Winner of the fights in this tournament is Tokubetsu Jonin Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze." The stadium roared again as Naruto widened his eyes, grinned, and rubbed the back of his head. Kasumi and Fu were hugging each other and jumping up and down in the Namikaze compound as they celebrated Naruto's victory. He won. Naruto-sama triumphed. Tayuya looked at the screen and sighed as she saw Tsunade raise Naruto's hand into the air. Kushina narrowed her eyes and lips into a gentle smile, as did Kimimaro. That shithead is truly extraordinary. I can see why you believe he can protect us. Kimimaro. Tayuya nodded, and the redhead sighed and leaned against the wall. Okay, I'll trust him as well. I still believe we're doomed, but he'll do a lot more for us than I originally anticipated, Tayuya said. And Kimimaro noticed a faint smile on her face. Meanwhile, Tsunade informed everyone that Naruto had won, and while everyone calmed down, Tsunade turned to the blonde and knelt. I hope you're aware of your responsibilities, brat. From here on out, things get serious. Tsunade spoke up, and Naruto nodded. It's okay, and I can handle it, Bachan, Naruto said, and Tsunade nodded before raising her hand and asking everyone to quiet down. This tournament was created for entertainment, fun, and seriousness. I tried everything I could to put all of you Jonin and Tokubetsu Jonin to the test, and you all did fantastic. I'm proud of you all for your efforts during this HPT. It makes my heart sing to see how hard you all worked. I instilled leadership, courage, and strength in you all, but the one who demonstrates it to everyone is Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, who stands right next to me. He, Kurenai, and Shizune are the only competitors in the tournament. Tsunade yelled, and people cheered and clapped. Kurenai and Shizune blushed as people congratulated them on their victories, and Tsunade smiled. I'll miss you all for the next 2 years. But I'm sure Naruto will do a great job as our Hokage. But that's me, Tsunade said, making some people laugh. Tsunade then turned around and walked Naruto towards the daimyo. Naruto, this is the daimyo of the Land of Fire. Please greet him on our behalf, Tsunade said, and Naruto bowed. The daimyo rose to his feet and extended his hand, which Naruto examined before looking up. Uzumaki Namikaze-san, I've heard a lot about you. It's a pleasure to meet you, the daimyo said, and Naruto shook his head and smiled as Tsunade turned around. Tomorrow, Naruto will meet with our daimyo, who will decide whether or not he is worthy of the position. I'm glad you all participated and had a good time. The end has arrived. There will be no missions today or tomorrow, so everyone should get some rest, Tsunade said as she walked up the stairs, letting go of Naruto's hand and smiling. I look forward to talking with you, Naruto-san, the daimyo said as he walked away. And Naruto nodded with a small smile as he saw him walk away, and he also saw Darui and C congratulate him before they left. As he stood on the podium, Naruto closed his eyes. Thank you, Kyuubi-chan. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. I'm glad I ran into you that night. It was the most amazing night of my life, Naruto told Kanari, who smiled and placed a hand on her hip. You don't have to thank Naruto-kun. I'd do it all over again. You know I love you enough to let you do that. Naruto nodded and walked back to his friends, where Tsume quickly snatched him into a hug, causing Naruto to suffocate. You completed the task. I wouldn't expect anything less, Tsume said, and Naruto nodded lightly. They all quickly left the room and returned to the Hokage mansion, where Kiba took Naruto and wrapped the blonde around his arm. I seriously thought you'd died. Don't frighten people like that, Kiba yelled, and Naruto apologized, and they all noticed that it was getting dark for them, so they all shot off. We'll let you get on with your day, Naruto-kun. See you when you get back home. Anko and Kurenai waved goodbye and went home, as did Kiba and Tsume, the latter giving Naruto a kiss on the lips as she left, leaving only Naruto and Yugao on the streets. Why aren't you also leaving? Naruto inquired, and Yugao blushed slightly. I was wondering when you were going to take me on my date, Yugao said, and Naruto chuckled, closing his eyes and placing a finger to his chin. Tomorrow evening. I need to make some reservations, Naruto told her, and Yugao nodded, kissing the blonde on the cheek before sunshining out of sight while Naruto hurried in at home. Compound Namikaze. Naruto appeared at the foot of his door, sighed, rubbed the back of his head, and opened the door, only to be hit into a hug by Kasumi as everyone else approached. Naruto-sama, nice fight. I still can't believe you did it. Naruto chuckled as Kasumi helped him to his feet. So I'm assuming you all saw it? Naruto inquired, and everyone nodded, allowing Naruto to enter the house while he approached Tayuya, causing the redhead to narrow her eyes. So, do you think I'm a little better now? Tayuya sighed and rubbed the back of her head before punching Naruto in the arm lightly. You are a better leader than that pedo fuck. I guess you're not so bad after all. Kimimaro patted Tayuya on the shoulder and nodded as she walked towards her room. Naruto-sama, she likes you. She treats everyone she likes in this manner. Her "you're not so bad" basically means I like you with a small attitude. Naruto-sama, you did an excellent job. Kushina wrapped her son in a hug and ruffled his hair as Kimimaro walked away. Databane is my son, exactly like his father. Sachai, I knew you could do it, Kushina said, and Naruto blushed and nodded. Everyone congratulated him on a job well done, but the tiredness overtook everyone and they soon drifted off to sleep. Naruto quickly crawled to his bed and sighed as he went to sleep. He would have celebrated more, but the lack of chakra and tiredness took their toll and knocked the blonde out cold, along with all the other Jonin and Tokibetsu Jonin who had participated in the exam. The following morning, Naruto was walking the streets of Konoha, ignoring some of the obvious glares from civilians that he still got, because it simply showed that the blonde would have to try harder to get them to stop acting like idiots. But now there were new glares of appreciation, acceptance, and admiration from the Jonin, Tokibetsu Jonin, and Chunin. It appears that people are still buzzing from yesterday, Kurenai said, and Shizune nodded in agreement. Is it possible to blame them? It's a fantastic deal, Shizune spoke up, and Naruto nodded. But I'm curious what they want from all of us. Not that I'm unhappy that you two are accompanying me. I owe a great deal to both of you. Naruto approached the Hokage mansion and walked through it for a while before coming to a small door with Tsunade next to it. Best wishes, brat. I'm proud of you whether you get this job or not. Naruto nodded and thanked Tsunade as he opened the door. He, Kurenai, and Shizune walked inside and saw 3 mats. Naruto sat in the center, while Kurenai and Shizune sat on the sides. They sat down calmly and saw the daimyo enter. He sat across from them and remained silent for a minute. First and foremost, Uzumaki Namikaze-san, I congratulate you on a job well done. Naruto nodded with a small bow in response to the daimyo's words. Thank you very much, daimyo-sama. I owe it to Shizune and Kurenai, my 2 partners. The man nodded with a small chuckle as he pointed his fan at Naruto, and Naruto made the 2 women bow to their daimyo. That young man is admirable, knowing when to thank your teammates for their efforts. That's a nice way to go about things. So, tell me, why did you enter this tournament, boy? When the daimyo asked, Naruto gently smiled and rubbed the back of his head. Apart from the fact that I was forced to do it or risk paperwork, the cost of which was unknown. The other option was to put myself and my limits to the test. It was excellent training for me as well as for 2 of my students. Naruto raised an eyebrow at the daimyo. Oh, and who are these 2 students? It is quite an accomplishment for someone your age to be training 2 people, the daimyo spoke up, and Naruto pointed to Kurenai. One of them is this. Kurenai Yuhai-chan is one of the 2 who came to me for help with her taijutsu, despite the fact that there are many people who are better at it than I am. Kurenai nodded as Naruto spoke. Anko Mitarashi, Konoha's snake mistress, is the other. I had a great time training with them. I have learned a lot from them, and they've taught me a lot. Kurenai's taijutsu has improved significantly, as has her stamina. Anko Jutsu-chan's power and taijutsu have both improved. I like both of them, Naruto said, and the daimyo nodded, clearly impressed. But the 2 decided to continue talking. What do you think makes a good Kage, in your opinion? Naruto sighed and rubbed the back of his head as the daimyo asked, and Kurenai and Shizune watched him for a few moments before he opened his eyes. His village is what makes a good Hokage. Without people who rely on him or her, a Kage is nothing. A Kage is nothing more than a powerful shinobi without his village. What makes a good Kage is also leadership in difficult situations. It's about making a sacrifice. That has become clear to me as a result of the many events that have occurred in my current life. I remember wanting the Kage position solely for the recognition so that no one would notice my burden. But now I know what it truly is. It is the position from which I can protect everyone who is important to me and others. I know it requires a difficult decision, but I can handle it. That is what distinguishes a good Kage. Kurenai and Shizune smiled as Naruto confirmed his words, and the daimyo chuckled. I notice you're much more mature, and I'm aware of your burden, but do you regard it as such? When the daimyo inquired, Naruto shook his head. No, I don't, Naruto said quickly, leaving no room for hesitation in his voice, shocking Kurenai and Shizune while raising an eyebrow at the daimyo. What I have isn't a burden, rather, she is the reason I'm where I am right now. I could never have imagined being here without her. She is not a burden to me. She is my salvation, Naruto said, and Kyuubi's smile brightened as he chuckled before turning to Kurenai and Shizune. What are your thoughts? Is this young man a great leader? He appears to have high regard for you. Both Kurenai and Shizune exchanged glances before returning to their daimyo, as the daimyo said, I can't speak for both of us, but I have faith in Naruto-kun. I've seen his potential, and I believe he'd make an excellent Hokage. He was exactly the type of person who could do the job. I'm sure you noticed it when he fought Tenzo. He possesses all of the characteristics of the previous Hokage. He's as good as, if not better than, his father, the fourth Kurenai said, and Naruto's eyes widened as he remembered Kyuubi telling him her promise all those years ago. I promised to train you to be a great shinobi, once, who is greater than the fourth. As he remembered them, those words echoed in Naruto's head. He still had a long way to go, but he knew he was getting close. Kurenai-san is correct. We couldn't have done better with a more experienced Jonin than Naruto-kun as our leader. I believe Naruto-kun can lead the village as well as he did us. Nobody could do it better than him, Shizune responded. And the daimyo nodded, slowly rising to his feet and looking out the window, narrowing his eyes at the village. Someone like you doesn't come around very often. You are truly a remarkable young man. Since Kakashi or Itachi, I haven't heard of anyone like you. It's very encouraging. So, if you think he's suitable for the job, I agree. Naruto will be the Hokage of this village from now until I deem him unfit. Naruto raised an eyebrow as the daimyo spoke. Wait, isn't Tsunade Bachan only gone for 2 years? Wasn't that the whole point? Naruto inquired, and the daimyo agreed. Of course, my son. That was the deal, but I'm changing it immediately and effectively. I'm curious to see how well you do with this village as your target. Tsunade will concur with me. Naruto rose to his feet as the daimyo spoke. It was only for a period of 2 years. At my age, I could possibly lead the entire village for the rest of my life. I've always wanted to, but I don't know how to. The daimyo walked up to Naruto and patted him on the shoulder, smiling as Naruto looked at him puzzled. You are, indeed, young. I saw something on that battlefield between you and that Anbu, the youngest I've ever known. I witnessed the creativity, intelligence, power, and strength required to lead a village. Now I know you're capable. Do you believe you have what it takes? The daimyo inquired. Naruto came to a halt, sighed, and turned back to Kurenai and Shizune. The two female Jonin nodded, and he smiled. What are your thoughts, Kyuubi? Naruto inquired, and Kyuubi smiled and placed a finger to her chin. I believe it will be difficult to teach you over the next 2 years, but I've never been one to give up, so I say go for it. I'll just have to train you even harder than I am now. Naruto silently chuckled and sighed before returning his gaze to his daimyo. You can always rely on me, Databeo. I will not disappoint you, Databeo. As they all rose to their feet, Naruto gave a thumbs up and the daimyo nodded. That's excellent, young man. I knew I could trust you. And do you know why you took those lessons? You too. The daimyo snickered as he pointed at Naruto, causing Kurenai and Shizune to shake their heads in disbelief. You two will be his advisors and secretaries. He chose you two for a reason, and only you two are capable of completing such a task. He'll need all the assistance he can get. The daimyo said this while Shizune and Kurenai's eyes widened at their jobs. But I have a team. I couldn't just leave them like that, Kurenai stated. And the daimyo agreed. You won't have to either. I'm sure your new Hokage can think of something. That's all I have to say for now. Let's go, shall we? As he opened the door and walked away, the daimyo said. I didn't count on this at all, Naruto said, rubbing the back of his head as Kurenai and Shizune nodded in agreement. Naruto sighed and rubbed his head, wondering what this meant for everyone else. So, Hokage-sama, shall we proceed? Naruto's eyebrow twitched as Kurenai asked with a snicker, and he turned to see Kurenai simply smiling and sighed again. This was going to take some getting used to. Naruto quickly headed out the door with Kurenai and Shizune. He couldn't help but wonder what his friends would say to him. But he'd have to worry about that later. He had a date to get ready for. In Odo, somewhere, Zetsu and Orochimaru were walking through the halls of one of Orochimaru's bases. Akatsuki had set up key locations in his hideouts, and Orochimaru had informed all of his bases of the new additions he had to him. It still irritated him to be with such a group like them, but he could think about it later. For now, he had decided to go with what they wanted, even if the two had trust issues. So, what have you been up to since your betrayal, Orochimaru? While Orochimaru turned to face him, Black Zetsu asked, casting a small kai at the plant man before chuckling. I still have a lot on my plate, Kyukuku. Don't think that just because I'm back means I'm carefree. If you get in my way, I'll kill you, Orochimaru said, causing Zetsu to roll his eyes. But that was to be expected. They had only recently been put together, so tensions were high. "So, what exactly are you doing here?" White Zetsu inquired, and Orochimaru opened a door, revealing Kabuto working through some issues. "How's it going, Kabuto?" Orochimaru inquired, and the white-haired medic nin smiled while holding up a small vial. "It's nearing the end, Orochimaru-sama. The curse mark will gain the desired third stage as a result of this." As Orochimaru looked at the oozing liquid, Kabuto spoke up, and Zetsu narrowed his eyes at the vial. "Is that a curse? Stages? What's the deal with that?" When they asked, Orochimaru took the vial and looked at it before turning around. "The curse mark is my creation. It contains my chakra and grants the user extraordinary abilities such as increased chakra, stamina, and power. If they have enough time, they will activate a second stage. It is now the final stage. Hyukuku, I can't wait to see how it's used." Before someone emerged from the shadows, Orochimaru said, "Orochimaru-sama, do you mind if I try it?" The man asked as he came out into the open. He had brownish hair and a small feral look. He was in his mid-30s and wore black pants and a black flak jacket. Right next to him was a large dog with black hair that looked half wolf or something. "Well, Kobayashi-kun, I didn't think you'd be willing to go for something like this," Orochimaru said, as Kobayashi nodded and patted his dog's head. "That's correct. Ayakamaru and I are very excited to try it." While Ayakamaru turned to face him, Kobayashi said, "It's Ayaka calling. That stupid Maru part reminds me of my ex-friend Kuramaru. I despise seeing him." Kobayashi chuckled as Ayaka spoke. "I'm so sorry, Ayaka-chan. How could I have forgotten?" While everyone rolled their eyes at the two's interaction, Kobayashi said, "I heard that Tsume has a new friend, Kobayashi and Yuzuka. He's said to be much stronger than you are." Kobayashi growled, his claws balled into his fists, and Ayaka rolled her eyes as Kobayashi softened slightly. "So, who has she finally decided on?" Kabuto chuckled as he pulled out a bingo book and flipped to a page, tossing it to Kobayashi, who caught it. "Third one from the top," Kabuto said, and Kobayashi looked at the name, narrowing his eyes. "Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze is his name. 10th of October, 5 feet, 10 in, tall, 120-pound weight. Tokubetsu Jonin of Konoha's occupation. Information: known for having above-average skills with Katten, Futen, and Raiten Jutsu. Defeated the Ikabai no Shukaku, container of the Kyuubai no Kitsune. Known for defeating a rank-missing nin Raymond Hichazi, also known as the Storm of Kumo. 90 million yen for capture and transport to Iwa. Status: a rank. Do not engage unless accompanied by others. Fight on sight." Kobayashi stopped reading and threw the book to the ground, growling and stomping on the book with added aggression. Orochimaru, Zetsu, and Kabuto stood there watching the action while Kobayashi fed. "Tsume has certainly lowered her standards. Kyuubai brat, you're a jerk. So he must have some guts to pursue her. So, whatever, let her do whatever she wants." While Kabuto grinned again, Kobayashi said, "There is one more thing to mention. Kuramaru and Ayaka had a daughter, it turns out. Kasumi is her name. She also lives with Naruto. They even defeated Akira and Katamaru together while Ayaka poofed into her human form. Her black hair rolled down her back and she appeared in a black kimono." Kabuto added fuel to the fire. "So he did keep that girl, huh? So, whatever. She's the result of my stupidity with Kuramaru. I have no sympathy for her." Kobayashi chuckled as Ayaka spoke. "So even Akira got kicked in the shins. He was always a pitiful wimp. So, Ayaka, let's get back to training. Let's just hope Gurren gives us a bigger challenge this time." As the two walked away, Kobayashi said, "You have some interesting people, Orochimaru," Black Zetsu said, and Orochimaru nodded, snickering as he returned his gaze to the vial. "You'll be an excellent guinea pig for this experiment, Kobayashi. If it works, you will have a lot of power. If it doesn't, you will die," Orochimaru said as his laugh echoed throughout his base's halls. Naruto is back. Naruto, quickly dressed in a black suit and black pants, sighed as he examined himself in a mirror, nodded to himself, and walked down the stairs, sighed as all the girls looked at him. "What are your plans?" They all had the same questions in their eyes. But Naruto kept silent and headed for the door, and Haku asked him, and Naruto smirked as he headed for the door. "I'm sorry I couldn't tell you. Don't be late." As Naruto closed the door, Haku, Fu, and Kasumi exchanged chuckles, and Teuya entered the room with a glass of water. "What exactly are you three laughing about?" They all shrugged their shoulders, leaving Teuya in the dark, and Fu quickly rose to her feet and pointed at the redhead. "So you're going to fight me now? Naruto-kun said you were good, so I'm going to check it out for myself. I've started to take my training more seriously, so I'd like to see how good you are," Fu told Teuya, and the redhead laughed evilly. "Then you're in for a world of hurt," Teuya said as she and Fu walked out to the training area in the back. Naruto is involved. Naruto continued walking through the Konoha trees until he came to a small house. He gulped and knocked on the door, patiently waiting for a response until he heard the door unlock and saw a sight that not many guys could say they had seen. He was looking at Yugao in a purple dress that went down to her ankles and tightly hugged her form while showing a little bit of her back in the back. Her hair was slightly done and rolled down her form. "Has the cat got your tongue?" she inquired, and Naruto remained silent. "Why you so beautiful?" Naruto said, and Yugao chuckled. She had never worn this dress for anyone other than Hayate, but that was fine with her. She took Naruto's stare as a compliment to her appearance. "If you keep staring, we'll be late." Yugao snapped Naruto out of his trance, and he quickly blushed and nodded as he led Yugao out of her house. "So, you just look so pretty," Naruto said, placing a hand on her hip and chuckling as she looked at Naruto. "You're not a bad person. I must say that you do a good job of cleaning." The two walked together, and Naruto guided her to his second favorite restaurant in Konoha for dinner. When they arrived, Yugao widened her eyes at where they were going. "Do you have the funds to purchase this property?" Yugao inquired, his eyebrow twitching. "Why is it that everyone says that? You're the second person to say that about me, I swear." Yugao laughed as Naruto said this. "Sorry, I didn't mean anything by it. It's just that this is the most expensive restaurant in Konoha," Yugao said as Naruto took her to the same place he took Hana, the Red Dragon. That it was still around and popular, and that Naruto had apparently been upgraded to premium membership a few months ago, which had its advantages. "Well, I try," Naruto said as he led Yugao past the line and up to the man who was blocking the door. "Please come in, Uzumaki Namikaze-sama. Your usual table is ready for you," the man said as he led Naruto and Yugao inside. As a premium member of the Red Dragon, Naruto always had a private room on the top floor with a view of Konoha, which was a great thing to have. Naruto and Yugao were seated across from each other in their private seat, and Yugao, who had a great view of the moon, smiled as she laid her arms on the table. "So, while we wait," Yugao said, smiling, and Naruto nodded. He basically told her about most of his life, minus the unpleasant parts. He told her about various things like missions, friends, and even how he did with training and things. In turn, Yugao told him about her parents, her times at the academy, and even her previous lover Hayate at times. "Is it okay if I take your order?" he inquired. Naruto ordered a sushi buffet for the two of them, while Yugao ordered some red wine. Naruto wasn't a big fan of wine, but he enjoyed it on occasion. After that, the two returned to their conversation. The two had a pleasant conversation, and Naruto discovered that Yugao was one of those people who train every day until I'm exhausted. It wasn't that he wasn't the same, it was simply a personal observation. Yugao and Naruto ate in relative silence, taking in the simple atmosphere of the restaurant. They both sighed, mocking their date. They didn't have any interruptions as Naruto observed Yugao as she ate another piece of sushi. She looked adorable in her outfit. He had absolutely no complaints. Yugao could feel Naruto's gazes on her body and could tell she looked nice, but Naruto just made her seem so important in his eyes. Yugao was used to men staring at her because of who she was and how she looked, but Naruto's stares were different. More feelings of admiration and affection. It made her blush again, even though she wanted to stop, but she decided to stop his admiration for the time being and ask him some questions. "So, Hokage-sam, what do you plan to do when people find out about you?" Yugao inquired, and Naruto's brow twitched. "Don't start with Yugao-chan. It's strictly Naruto-kun or Naruto with you, okay?" he asked, and Yugao laughed at her date's actions. "Yes, Hokage-sama," Yugao replied, and Naruto's glare made the purple-haired Anbu giggle even more. "Alright, keep laughing. But as Hokage, I can make you take D-rank missions for as long as I see fit," Naruto said, and Yugao immediately stopped giggling. She glared at Naruto while the blonde happily ate his sushi, and he placed a hand over hers. "Okay, I wouldn't go quite that far, but seriously, Yugao-chan, you're one of the few people who can simply call me Naruto." Yugao nodded as the blonde spoke. Soon after, the two left, and Naruto escorted Yugao back to her house, where he opened the door and Yugao entered. "I had a good time, Yugao-chan," Naruto said, and Yugao nodded in agreement, this being the first time she had been able to let go and feel womanly without wearing her armor all the time. "Naruto-kun, I did it as well. Thank you for a pleasant evening," Yugao said as she kissed Naruto on the lips. Naruto kissed her back and the two parted ways. Yugao waved goodbye to him as Naruto waved goodbye to her. He could only sigh as this was probably as good as it was going to get, knowing how the rest of his week would be as he headed home. After 5 days, the entire village was gathered around the Hokage mansion, and they all heard some kind of announcement going around as they gathered around the place. Of course, the Jonin and Tokubetsu Jonin knew what was going on, but swore to keep their mouths shut, as did the Chunin as everyone piled inward. Do you know what this is about, Sasuke-kun? Sakura inquired, and Sasuke gave her an annoyed look that made her flinch. Why should I care what's going on? Do you have anything better to do than hang out with me all the time? Everyone sighed as they wondered how long Sakura would keep trying. They could all tell that Sasuke wanted to be alone since he'd been taken back, so they did that, while Sakura did the exact opposite. She never left the Uchiha alone, and it was driving him up the wall. Hiba-kun, what do you know? Tenten inquired, and the Chunin shook his head, trying not to laugh, which Tenten noticed made her narrow her eyes. Soon, Ino approached Tenten and glomped on Kiba. Tenten, perhaps he needs an incentive. Tenten narrowed her eyes as Kiba blushed as Ino inquired. Tenten said, Ino, get off my Kiba-kun, and Ino shook her head, making the weapon's mistress fume. You know, Kiba, I never noticed how cool you looked in a Chunin flak jacket, Ino said, flushing Kiba. Why are you on me, Ino? Kiba inquired as Ino stuck her tongue out at Tenten, causing the brunette to widen her eyes. I just thought I'd get to know you a little better. I know how hard you worked to get Sasuke. That was very thoughtful of you and Naruto. As Kiba rubbed the back of his neck, Ino spoke up. Troublesome woman, Shikamaru said as Kiba sighed and turned to the blonde genin to ask her a question. How did you feel about Sasuke? Kiba inquired, as Ino smiled and nodded. Sure, who wouldn't like him? But you're so unique, Kiba-kun. You don't ruminate on a daily basis, do you? Tenten's eyes narrowed as Ino spoke. 10 seconds, Ino, or I swear to Kami, I'll screw you up, Tenten warned, twirling a kunai in her hands as Ino hugged Kiba even tighter. Tenten, please share the hotness. Is Akamaru also fond of me? Ino asked the dog, and Akamaru nodded while Tenten stared at him. Kiba-kun is now mine, Tenten yelled, and Ino waved her away, telling her to share, while Kiba slipped away from the two and sighed next to Shikamaru, Chaoji, and Shino. I'm glad I'm out of there, Kiba said, rubbing the back of Shikamaru's head. That's what you get for being yourself. So inconvenient. Shikamaru yawned, and Shino nodded as Chaoji slapped Kiba on the back. So, what's it like to be a ladies' man like Naruto? Kiba rubbed the bridge of his nose, and Chaoji wondered. Kinda good now, Kiba said as Tenten and Ino exchanged glares, lightning flashing between them, making Kiba sweat drop. While they were talking, everyone noticed Kasumi, Fu, and Teuya approaching from behind them. Hey, you're the one who kidnapped Sasuke-kun. Teuya rolled her eyes as Sakura yelled. Who the fuck are you referring to as a bitch? Don't make me kick your fangirl ass all over the place, Teuya growled, causing others to laugh. Sakura, I would never do something like that. This girl is a fighter. Please believe me on this, Shikamaru spoke as Teuya folded her arms. You're absolutely correct, I can. I could have killed you if that blonde bimbo hadn't intervened, Teuya said as everyone turned to look at Fu, who was standing next to Haku, and Kiba. What is your name? I don't recall seeing you. Fu nodded as Ino spoke. I'm Fu. I'm a student and clansman of Naruto. Kung Fu blushed as everyone smirked once more. I'm not sure what you see in him, Sakura said, and everyone sighed. Leave it to Sakura to act like a bitch, as she always did. I just wish we could get this over with so I could go home. But knowing what this is about, I doubt it, Shikamaru said as Tenten and Ino approached him. You are knowledgeable. You all three. Tell us right away, they said to Haku, Kiba, and Shikamaru, who sighed and sweat dropped. Troublesome, Naruto, and get out of here so they can leave me alone, Shikamaru said quietly. Naruto is involved. He was nervous. He was terrified. He didn't want to go out there. Kurenai and Shizune were right next to him and could see his fear. How could he not be? Tsunade was about to make the announcement. Naruto-kun, would you please stop pacing the floor? Shizune asked, but Naruto shook his head and walked around the room, gulping. Kurenai sighed, finding it slightly amusing that their fearless leader from just a few days ago was now reduced to such a state. Are you serious? I can't seem to sit still. Databeo Naruto said this before Kurenai and Shizune grabbed him and sat him down. You'll be just fine. It's not like they'll eat you, Naruto gulped as Kurenai responded, feeling nervous for the first time in his life. When you need those S-ranked missing nin, Kuso, where are they? Shizune chuckled at Naruto's question, and Kurenai snorted as the others entered. Well, and Uzumaki reduced to a coward, laughed, while Darui, C, and Yujiro looked at their own cage, knowing of his previous experience. Are you serious, Raikage-sama? You, of all people, are aware of what occurred during your coronation. I believe you received an Yujiro came to a halt when a coughed. Piqued the interest of Naruto, Shizune, and Kurenai in what he had to say. So, Naruto-san, we came to wish you luck. Tsunade-sama is about to begin, so we were told to come get you. Darui spoke as Naruto, Shizune, and Kurenai rose to their feet and exited the room. Tsunade stood in front of the crowd with Jiraiya, chuckling to each other as Tsunade rubbed the back of her head. 2 years is a long period of time. I can only hope that this place is still standing when I return. Jiraiya chuckled as he rubbed his chin in response to Tsunade's words. Do you want to place a wager on Haim? Tsunade rolled her eyes as Jiraiya inquired. Don't even joke like that, you pervert, Tsunade said as she walked forward, and Jiraiya nodded. I've come to make an important announcement to you. I'll say it only once, so pay attention. Tsunade Senju, I held a small event only for the knowledge of Konoha's Chunin, Jonin, and Tokibetsu Jonin. This event was only open to Jonin and Tokibetsu Jonin rank participants. I dubbed it the HPT, Tsunade yelled, eliciting murmurs from the civilians and genin who were nearby. The Hokage placement tournament was the name given to this HPT. This event was created solely to select a suitable candidate for my position. Ryuma no Kuni has requested that I go and provide medical assistance. I agreed, and because this is extensive, I will be gone for 2 years. The winner of this tournament will become the new Hokage. At that time, Tsunade's words caused everyone to widen their eyes and gasp, and the genin looked at Shino in awe and wonder while the Aburame adjusted his glasses, making them shine for a moment before turning back. Know that the winner possesses all of the qualities of a Hokage, and our very own Land of Fire's Daimyo approves of him as well. I couldn't think of anyone better. So, without further ado, I present to you your new Hokage. Naruto gulped as he, Kurenai, and Shizune walked up the steps, his heart skipping a beat as they led him there. I present to you my cousin from my sister clan, the son of Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, your new Hokage. Tsunade yelled as Naruto revealed his true identity to everyone. Sakura, Ino, Tenten, and Hinata widened their eyes, while Chaoji dropped his bag of chips. Sasuke gasped when he saw the blonde above the Hokage mansion, while Kiba, Haku, Fu, Teuya, and Shikamaru smirked. Isn't Naruto the Hokage? You're joking. As Neji sighed, Sakura said, it was bound to happen at some point. He's put in more hours than any of us. Kami knows he deserves the job, Neji said, as Hinata agreed with her cousin. Tsunade and Jiraiya motioned Naruto forward, and the blonde appeared, accompanied by Shizune and Kurenai. He looked around at everyone and breathed easily. Tsunade urged him to speak up, and Naruto did. Well, I don't know much about being the Hokage, let alone managing a village, but in Tsunade's absence, Bachans, I swear on my life to protect everyone with the help of my advisors and supporters Kurenai Yuhai and Shizune Kato. I know some of you still hate me and doubt my abilities, and I don't blame you, but I won't let that stop me. I will lay down my life for everyone if you give. Some civilians cheered as well, and only a small minority did nothing. As the blonde rubbed the back of Naruto's head, it was clear how much he was liked by everyone. Tsunade and Jiraiya congratulated the blonde. One thing was certain, Konoha's life was about to get a lot more interesting. The Hokage mansion. As his room was filled with his friends, Naruto rubbed the top of his head in embarrassment. The blonde chuckled as everyone seemed to be talking to him at the same time. Okay, wait. Stop yelling. Now, one at a time please, the blonde told them all, and everyone soon stopped to calm down while Sasuke took the stage first. How could you, of all people, get this position? It's not right. Is this a joke? Uchiha asked, his eyes narrowing. While Kakashi patted Sasuke's shoulder, the Jonin glared at him. Sasuke, be respectful. Naruto is no longer a casual friend. He's Hokage, Kakashi said, and the brunette Uchiha huffed his displeasure at the subject while Naruto sighed. It's okay, Kakashi-sensei, I'm used to it from him. To answer your questions, Sasuke, this isn't a joke. I'm not even sure how I got this position. But like I said, I'll do it to the best of my abilities while Bagon. Chan's Naruto replied, as Kiba and Haku smiled. Well, we're happy for you, Hokage-sama, they both said as Naruto stood up from his seat. No, not you two. You and a few others have the right to call me Naruto. No Sama or Hokage. Just Naruto for both of you, Naruto said as Kiba and Haku backed up. Yash, Naruto youth Kuns will shine brightly over the village. I vow to be this faithful to my village. And if I can't, I will. Lee came to a halt as Naruto groaned slightly. He had to chuckle, thinking that it was probably Lee's personality, but he didn't mind it much anymore. Well, congratulations, Naruto, on achieving your dream, even if it took a few years longer than necessary, Neji said, and Naruto agreed, but then Kurenai appeared through the door, drawing everyone's attention to her. She was holding a handful of papers, which she placed in front of Naruto. Kurenai stood next to him as the blonde gasped at the size. Matters for Naruto-kun. Please sign these while Shizune and I go organize some other things, Kurenai said before leaving. Naruto shuddered as he saw the size. So this is what it's like to be on the receiving end of paperwork. Naruto reflected before pulling out a pen. Yeah, well, since it's my first day as Hokage, I need to get this mess done so everyone will have the day off, so enjoy it, Naruto ordered, and everyone except Kimimaro, Tayuya, and Sasuke left the room. Naruto looked up as the pink-haired genin locked his gaze on him. The Kyuubi Jinchuriki's eyes narrowed at her. Is there anything I can help you with, Haruno-san? Naruto asked, annoyed by Sakura's stare. Everyone turned around to see Sakura and the Anbu staring at them both. While Sakura stepped forward, they were all getting ready to move in case something happened. Everyone tensed as she approached him. I don't recognize you as Hokage, Sakura said, raising an eyebrow. Kiba, like Haku, exclaimed, while Kimimaro and Tayuya stared at her. Even Sasuke didn't say anything as Naruto rose to his feet. And why is that? He inquired, intrigued. He may have had an authoritative tone, but he wasn't about to be casual with something like this. It's because I don't think you could do a better job of running this village than Tsunade-sama or Sasuke-kun. And I know who deserves this position, Sakura explained as Sasuke rolled his eyes. The Uchiha sighed and decided to remain silent. They say that prison makes you think a lot and humbles you. Sasuke could most likely attest to this. Although it was only a week, his interactions with the other inmates had taught him a few things. It taught him that no one can face the world on their own, something he should have known from the start. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, Sakura, but Ba-chan and our daimyo chose me. I'm still wondering what they saw in me to hand me this position, but I'm not letting them down. You can believe what you want, but I'm not backing down from my responsibilities. Now get out before I have my Anbu throw you out, Naruto said, and Sakura immediately flinched at the blonde's tone before Ino pulled her back before she did. Sorry, Hokage-sama, we'll leave you alone now, right Kiba-kun? Ino asked as Tenten glared at the blonde. Tenten yelled, Ino, don't you dare, as they all closed the door, leaving Naruto, Kimimaro, Tayuya, and Sasuke in the room. The blonde sighed as he returned to his desk and sat. He took a brief glance out the window before returning his attention to the three. First and foremost, Kimimaro and Tayuya, show me your necks to prove your allegiance to my clan and this village. And the same for you, Sasuke, Naruto said as everyone looked at him strangely. Tayuya quickly followed Kimimaro, who displayed his curse mark. While Naruto closed his eyes, Sasuke reluctantly did the same. Those of my clan cannot bear such marks. They will be cared for right now, Naruto said, opening his eyes to reveal his Manjikyo Sharingan. He focused quickly on Kimimaro's, and the black flames devoured the seal before Naruto could stop. The blonde did the same thing to Tayuya and Sasuke, and while everyone got a small burn on their necks, they didn't mind. That's strange. My eyes don't hurt when I use Amaterasu anymore. I wonder why. Naruto pondered before motioning Kimimaro and Tayuya forward. Naruto took out a headband as soon as the two did. Kimimaro, you were abandoned by Orochimaru and left to die, but I saw your potential and you trusted me. Will you follow me and help protect my village? Naruto inquired, and Kimimaro grabbed the headband and wrapped it around his arm. You are my master, Naruto-sama, and I will follow you until the day I die, Kimimaro said as he backed away. Naruto shifted his gaze to Tayuya, who settled for a light glare. Do you still need convincing that I can protect you? Naruto asked, and Tayuya's gaze darted around the Hokage office before returning to Naruto's. No, I don't shit him. Tayuya paused, his eyes rolling. He sighed and rubbed the back of his neck. Go ahead. You're allowed, Naruto said, tapping the desk with his finger. Tayuya relaxed her breathing and smiled slightly. I don't think we're screwed, shithead, but you seem to know what you're doing, so I'll follow you, Tayuya said, wrapping her headband around her waist. Naruto nodded, a small smile on his face, and took out a piece of paper. Right now, there is no team or anything, so I'm going to place the two of you as one. Kimimaro, you are obviously a Jonin, and Tayuya will be a Chunin for the time being. Go and enjoy your day off, guys, Naruto told them as the two Sunshine left the room, leaving only Naruto and Sasuke. Before Naruto rose to his feet, the Uchiha glared at the Uzumaki. As your Hokage, I order you to stop chasing Itachi, Naruto said bluntly, causing the Anbu's eyes to widen and Sasuke's to narrow slightly into a glare. He was about to yell our command, but Naruto laughed and waved it away. I'm sorry I couldn't keep it up. That's not me at all. I couldn't tell you to do that while being serious, Naruto laughed, raising an eyebrow at Sasuke. When Naruto began to laugh, he relaxed slightly. Alright, Sasuke, I know how much you want to go after Itachi. Having your Sharingan has taught me some things. Let me tell you something that will help you. If you want to stay on Itachi, keep near me, Naruto said, and Sasuke looked perplexed before the blonde elaborated. What I mean is that if you want to kill Itachi, the best way is to stick with me. For reasons I can't tell you, Itachi is after me, along with others like me. If I know him, he'll come after me again. When that time comes, you can fight him all you want, but Sasuke, are you sure things are as cut and dry as you think? Naruto asked. What do you mean? Itachi murdered the entire clan. I would think that was as clear as we think, Sasuke said, lifting his finger to his chin. He could have had someone tell him about the events that led up to the Uchiha massacre, but something told him that he should do it himself. He had no idea why. Perhaps it was the blood of the Uchiha clan Dojutsu coursing through his veins. He had no idea. Tell me, Sasuke, did Itachi ever think badly of the clan in all the time you knew him? Naruto asked, and Sasuke went back to the finer points of his memory. No, he loved the clan and everyone in it. He mostly kept to himself, but he didn't have any enemies, Sasuke replied, and Naruto rose to his feet. While the blonde snapped his fingers, he quickly summoned 2 Bunshin to handle his paperwork. Immediately behind him, an Anbu appeared on one knee. Yes, Hokage-sama, the Anbu inquired, and Naruto turned to face him. Bring me the file on Itachi Uchiha right now, I need to see something, Naruto said. And the Anbu quickly shunshined out of sight. Before turning to Naruto, Sasuke wondered what was going on. You fill out the position rather naturally. At least you can do something right, Sasuke said, rolling his eyes. Hardy har har, Naruto smirked as the Anbu placed the file on the blonde's desk. As he looked at it, Naruto sighed. There were files in here that only a Kage could access. He gulped and opened it quickly. Naruto combed through everything. He discussed Itachi's behavior, grades, time in academy, and even the Anbu missions he completed. It also mentioned some of Itachi's ideas. Here, Sasuke, read it, Naruto said, and the Uchiha did so. He went through everything quickly and narrowed his eyes. Before he spoke, his hands shook slightly. May I take this home? I'll give it back, but I want to see it in depth, Sasuke asked Naruto, who agreed. Go ahead, but I want that back in 2 days so I don't have to worry about where it is all the time, Naruto said, and Sasuke left while an Anbu appeared. No offense, Hokage-sama, but do you think that was a good idea? The Anbu inquired, as Naruto rubbed the back of his neck. He smiled as he tapped the desk. What did I say, Anbu-san? I told you to call me what? Naruto inquired, as the Anbu removed their mask. Sorry, Naruto-kun. It takes some getting used to, Yugao asked, and Naruto looked out the window to see Sasuke reading the file as if his life depended on it. Somewhere in the back of my mind. No, I don't think that was a good idea, Naruto reasoned. However, that Emo needs to lighten up and get out of his obsession, and I also want to prevent Orochimaru from using any misguided information should Sasuke meet him again. I still think it might do some good, Yugao agreed. She then noticed the clones at work and began to sweat. All along it was that simple, and none of the other Kages thought it could work. How strange, Yugao thought to herself as Naruto rose from his seat. And where are you going? She inquired, and Naruto sighed. Council meeting. Seems like people want to meet with their new Hokage. Please keep an eye on the place in case Shizune or Kurenai-chan return, Naruto told her as he left the room. And Yugao nodded in mock salute. Council chamber. Naruto quickly entered the room and took his place in the center. He saw the other clan heads enter and was surprised to see Kushina. For the time being, I guess she was representing his clan. He doubted Sasuke would appear, but he knew why, so he excused himself for the time being. Greetings, Hokage-sama, Hayashi said, and Naruto waved. That honorific was still painful to hear, but he figured he should just get over it and let it sink in. It could be a minor preference to get used to. Hello Hayashi-san, how is the Hyuga clan? Naruto inquired, prompting the Hyuga head to bow. It's going well. It's quite surprising that someone so young has been appointed as our Hokage, Hayashi said to him as Kushina smiled and closed her eyes. Well, what do you expect? He is my son, after all, Kushina said, causing the other heads to nod in agreement. Shibai turned to the blonde, and since the civilian council hadn't arrived yet, he figured they could all get some answers. Pardon my intrusion, Hokage-sama, but if you would indulge me for a moment, I would like to ask you about your eyes, Shibai said, and Naruto, like everyone else, looked confused, but he let the Aburame head speak. Go ahead, Naruto said, and Shibai nodded. It's about that Dojutsu you have. I'd like to understand how it works. I believe you called it the Shinseinagen. It's called the Divine Eye of Light. Please tell me how it allows you to copy bloodlines. I can't understand the copy of Dojutsu or physical bloodlines, Shibai said, turning to Naruto. As he placed his hand on the table, the blonde sighed and nodded. I suppose that's true. What it does is that I can see the flow of chakra even more than the Byakugan or Sharingan can. I can see how chakra is used to make up the elements of different Dojutsu and bloodlines, and my chakra changes along with it to allow me access to those bloodlines, depending on what it is. I suppose that's true. What it does is that I can see the flow of chakra even more than the Byakugan or Sharingan can. I can see. Does that mean you can take Inouchi's and mine? Chuse inquired, and Naruto nodded. That's right, I could, but it takes me a little time to adjust to each one, and if I don't practice with it, then I'm just a person who can use a bloodline incorrectly, Naruto asked, and they all nodded. Tsume, meanwhile, raised her hand. So, Hokage-sama, when are we combining our clans? Tsume inquired, and Naruto laughed. With a small blush on his face, he rubbed the back of his head. Tsume grinned madly at Naruto's blush as Shikaku turned to face him. So this clan will be one big clan and compound with only one head. How nice and totally troublesome, Shikaku said, waving his hand. Haha no, Shikaku-san. I doubt I could run something that big by myself, which is why, until Tsume-chan decides, Kiba will be the clan head alongside me. It's better for the clan if we have two instead of one. There might be a few conflicts, but I think we can make that work, Naruto told them. And everyone seemed to agree. They soon stopped talking as the civilians entered through the door. Naruto focused his attention on Sakura's mother, Sakuno. You're all late, Naruto said as Sakuno took her seat. She glared at the blonde, but Naruto returned her gaze. He was the same brat she remembered from years ago, and she knew it now. HMPH, don't get cocky, brat. We're here, aren't we? Someone inquired, causing the shinobi side to growl at the civilians. Naruto simply believed that these were some of the few people who did not approve of him as Hokage. First and foremost, it's not brat, it's Hokage-sama to you, and when we gather, I expect you to be on time, Naruto said as they huffed. Whatever you say, Hokage-sama, someone else said as Naruto rolled his eyes. He simply closed his eyes and let that go. He didn't want to deal with their nonsense right now. Well, anyway, Hokage-sama, we heard you've given everyone a day or two off for the time being. Is there any chance you've thought anything over? Inouchi inquired, and Naruto nodded. He sighed as he gazed at Yamanaka's head. Yeah, I was just given this position yesterday, so I know some changes are needed. Tell me, what do you all think of the academy for one? Naruto asked the shinobi side, and they all scoffed as Tsume spoke. Too easy, it's nothing like when we were kids, Tsume said, raising an eyebrow at Naruto. And how was that? He asked, resting his hands on the table in front of them all. I believe the Sandaime had just started his position around that time. It was more war at the time, so we had more expected of us. By the time we were genin, we could take C to B rank missions. We didn't have D ranks, Hayashi explained, and Naruto nodded. Who runs the academy? Naruto inquired, and Sakuno rose to her feet with a cocky smile. That would be me, Hokage-sama, Sakuno said, her voice bitter as Naruto narrowed his eyes and rubbed his chin. Well, alright, I'll return to that topic later. Is there anything else I should be aware of? Naruto inquired, and a civilian who was not like the others rose to her feet, clutching a scrap of paper. Certainly, Hokage-sama. We have received numerous reports of violence from civilians in various parts of the village. Some of the civilians scowled at the goody-goody woman who was nice to their Hokage, but she didn't care because Naruto noticed it. Thank you very much. I'll take care of it right away. If that's all, we can all go home. Almost all of us, at any rate. Meeting adjourned, Naruto said as he rubbed the back of his neck and walked back to his office, and Tsume smiled as she followed him. Naruto opened the door to his office and thanked Yugao, while the purple-haired Anbu shunshined out of sight and back to what she was doing. Meanwhile, Naruto saw his clones done as they had dispelled a few minutes earlier. I hope you're watching me, Tu-chan. I'll do my best, Databeo, Naruto said to himself as the door opened, and he looked around the office as Tsume entered. I've always wondered what it'd be like to see you behind that desk, and now I get to find out. You did an excellent job, Naruto-kun, Tsume said, and the blonde chuckled as he rubbed the back of his neck. Well, I tried, Tsume-chan, Naruto said as Tsume sat on his desk, blushing as Tsume leaned in close. You know, I've always wanted to try it in the Hokage's office, Tsume said as Naruto backed away in his chair. Tsume giggled as she followed the blonde until he hit a wall, at which point Naruto gulped while Tsume was right in front of his face. Oh, look at the time. Tsume-chan, I have to go, and Naruto paused when Tsume kissed him, widening his eyes as he wondered if Tsume had forgotten that the Anbu were watching, which they were, trying to suppress their urges to chuckle and blush at the same time. Tsume wrapped her arms around Naruto's neck as she sat on his lap, quickly inserting her tongue into his mouth while Naruto closed his eyes and simply submitted, his hands roaming Tsume's body as their kisses became more passionate. Naruto moved his hands lower to her buttocks, causing Tsume to lightly jump. Naruto, you dog, she said as they continued, while Naruto gave her a firm smile. Tsume unzipped Naruto's jacket and kissed his chest, while the Anbu gulped. Are they really going to do this in front of us? One inquired, while the other giggled quietly. SHHH, this is getting good, he said as they all continued to watch, knowing that it was their duty to keep their Hokage safe, even if it meant watching him get it on with one of his shinobi. Damn, they hated their duties right now. Tsume gasped as Naruto rubbed her thighs, and he laced soft kisses on her neck, trailing them down her elegant form. Ah, that's good, Naruto, Tsume said, pressing her body against Naruto's, and the blonde was about to go any further when they all heard a knock at the door. Oh shit, Naruto said as Tsume got off of him. She quickly changed her clothes while Naruto returned to his desk as the door opened. Tsume moved to the far side of the room while the two avoided eye contact. The person who came through the door was Kushina, who seemed to notice the two trying hard to avoid each other, which made her giggle. Hey, I don't really care what you do in here, Hokage-sama, Kushina said, but maybe you should think before you act, Databane. Naruto coughed, a small blush on his face. I'll remember that, Ka-chan. So, what did you require? Naruto inquired, and Kushina smiled. It's a simple sachai. We'll be taking a field trip to Uzugakure. I want you to notice something. Because Fu is your student, you should bring her with you. Just leave a clone here and we'll be gone tomorrow, Kushina said, and Naruto sighed, about to retort. But Tsume urged him to continue, and on that note, the blonde consented and agreed. Alright, now then, I have some things to do, so please leave me to them, Naruto said, and Kushina turned to see Tsume scratching her cheek, then nodded and quickly turned around. What is Kanari-chan doing, Ka-chan? Naruto inquired, and Kushina smiled at the prospect of Kyuubi. She's catching up with one of her friends, Fu's acquaintance, but she's looking forward to meeting you. She said her name was Nana, Kushina explained, and Naruto narrowed his eyes. I guess Nanabi's out and wants to meet me. Great, Naruto thought to himself as he watched Kushina walk away. Tsume smiled as she rubbed the back of her neck. I guess that was close, she said, staring at Naruto for a few moments. You think? He asked as she sat down again at his desk. Would you like to continue? She asked, and Naruto looked at her as if she was insane, scratching his cheek before Tsume kissed him. Well, see you later, Naruto-kun, Tsume said as she walked out of the room, and Naruto sighed and rolled his eyes. Go ahead, laugh. You all know you want to, Naruto said to the hidden Anbu, and they all laughed, causing the blonde to grit his teeth. It's not that amusing. HMPH, he said as Shizune entered the room after seeing the paperwork. Oh, Naruto-kun, are you done yet? Shizune cried as she grabbed Naruto's hands and knelt down, she asked, and the blonde nodded. Thank you, Naruto-kun. You have no idea what it's like to be with someone who doesn't do their work and you have to track them down 18 hours a day. Thank you so much, Shizune said, scratching his cheek as he sweat dropped. What did you do to Shizune-chan, Ba-chan? Naruto pondered as Shizune placed another load in front of him. Please complete these as well, Naruto-kun. Thank you, Shizune said as she walked away. Naruto's eyebrow twitched as he looked at the next amount. He cursed his luck, but then he realized it was the leftover work from the tournament that no one had finished. Those damn cheaters. How couldn't he see it coming? Make a new pile. Oh well, I guess I'll just get started. Kami only knows that I'm the only one who can keep up with this amount anyway, Naruto said as he rolled up his sleeves and took out a pen. He figured this would take most of the day. Iwagakure, Onoki, the Sandaime Tsuchikage of Iwa, was also known as the Great Fence-Sitter and was considered the master of the famed Kekai Toda, Dust Release. Onoki sat in his chair, looking over the information, and grinned wide when he saw it. Konoha now has a new Hokage, and he is Minato's descendant. That's wonderful. I'm excited to see how strong he is. Perhaps we'll be able to easily defeat Konoha. After the humiliation we endured during the last great ninja war, this could work. I want you to infiltrate Konoha, Kiritsuchi. Make sure you don't get noticed, Onoki advised his granddaughter, Kiritsuchi, who was taller than most genin. Jiji, by myself. Isn't that a little much? She asked, doubting that she could get very far alone, and even though she disliked Konoha for the most part, she wouldn't want to try it. I suppose you're correct. I'm just a little excited. Konoha's going to be easy to attack now, Onoki said as he stood up. Erg my back, Onoki grumbled, making Kiritsuchi sigh. Jiji, you need to stop pushing yourself or you'll get hurt, Kiritsuchi advised Onoki before he flew into the air. HMPH, don't dismiss me, Kiritsuchi. It's 100 years too early for you to think you can take care of me, Onoki said, rolling her eyes. You're right, Jiji. Now I'm going to leave. Send someone else for the mission, Kiritsuchi said as Onoki sighed. He had a strange granddaughter. Well, that's irrelevant for the time being. I need to make plans right now, Onoki thought to himself. Kirigakure, A woman was sitting at her desk, doing paperwork, when she heard a knock on the door. "Come in," she said, and the door opened to reveal her alleged secretary, an elderly man with one of his eyes patched up, who quickly walked to the Mizukage and handed her a paper. "We have new reports of Konoha's actions, Mizukage-sama. It appears that they've chosen a new Hokage," the man said as the woman stood to her feet. She was dressed in a long-sleeved, dark blue dress that fell down to her knees and only covered up to her shoulders and her ample-sized breasts. Her hair was an auburn color that dropped down towards the back of her back. She was also wearing a mesh shirt that covered a bit more of her body than her dress. "I see, that's intriguing. Who could it be?" she inquired, smiling as her advisor, Ao, handed her the note. "This guy is young Mei-sama. However, if we're lucky, we might be able to get the jump on Konoha before they get us," Ao said as Mei narrowed her eyes. "May drop lucky attack," Mei said, standing up and patting Ao on the shoulder. "Ao, shut up or I'll melt you," Mei said sweetly as she took the note into her hands, and Ao gasped. "What have I done?" Ao thought to himself before Mei took the picture and looked at it, smiling as she looked over Naruto's features. "Minato Namikaze's son. He's in Uzumaki as well. He's also not bad looking. Rather, he's quite cute," Mei thought to herself, smiling, as she considered meeting with the blonde. "Ao, make plans for me to visit Konoha. Send them an email. I'd like to meet with their Hokage in person," Mei said with a charming smile, and Ao nodded absently as he walked away, leaving Mei smiling behind her desk. "Naruto is back," the blonde sighed as he finished his paperwork, which was already late into the night. He quickly got up from his chair and snapped his fingers, and all the Anbu in the room bowed to the blonde. "You are free to leave at any time. I'm not going to make you stay here. Simply remember to change the village surveillance every 6 hours. Understood?" Naruto inquired, and the Anbu nodded. "Yes, Hokage-sama," they said as they shunshined out of sight while Naruto opened the door and left, followed by Kurenai and Shizune, and the blonde walked into the streets, sighing and rubbing the back of his head. "Man, I'm tired right now," Naruto stated before hearing a response. "That was to be expected, Hokage-sama. You've only been here 2 days," Kyuubi said, and Naruto sighed. "I assume Nanabi is out and about?" Naruto inquired, and Kanari nodded with a small smile. "That's correct. She left because she said she wanted to see you. Yujiro would also like to speak with you. Something to do with her Bijuu, namely Nibai-chan, so I'd appreciate it if you did that," Kyuubi said, and Naruto nodded and rubbed his eyes before spotting a figure in the distance with green hair and a green kimono with a black striped pattern. "What is your name?" Naruto inquired, and the green-haired lady smiled at him as she entered the light. "I have a lot of names, but I really like being called Nana," she said, and Naruto widened his eyes, looking at Nanabi in the flesh, who smiled at him. "I'm guessing Nanabi. So, how do you feel about the outside?" Naruto inquired, and the green-haired woman exhaled deeply and smiled. "Feels good, and it's all thanks to you, Naruto-kun, for teaching Fu how to release me." "Thank you, now come here," she said as she grabbed Naruto's shoulders, surprising the blonde, before kissing him and pushing her tongue into his mouth. Naruto had barely recovered when Nanabi let go with a smile on her face. Nanabi smiled as Naruto coughed with a blush. "Nice kiss, Naruto-kun. See you back at the compound," Nanabi said as she walked away, leaving Naruto behind. He sighed as he discovered someone who resembled Tsume. Naruto kept walking home, trying to get that kiss out of his head, but it still felt good no matter how hard he tried to deny it. Something about it was intense and perfect in some ways. Naruto approached his door and quickly opened it. He yawned once more before turning on the lights. "Welcome home, Hokage-sama," everyone said as Naruto twitched his brow. He sighed as he noticed Kyuubi and Nanabi smiling at him from the couch. "I'm back, everyone. How have you all been?" Naruto asked, pointing to Teuya and Haku. "We had a sparring tournament, and Teuya won," Kasumi said as Teuya folded her arms and chuckled. "You're damn right, I did. It's too early for you fuckers to beat me," she said as Naruto chuckled. Naruto clapped his hands as Teuya grinned. "Alright everyone, go to bed. Tomorrow I'm assigning missions, so I'd like you all to get some sleep. Kyuubi-chan, Nanabi-chan, I'd like you both to be with me and Fuwaka-chan takes us to Uzugakure," Naruto told the two Bijuu, who nodded as everyone began to walk off towards their rooms before Yujiro approached Naruto. Naruto, do you think you could teach me as well?" Yujiro inquired, raising an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" he asked, and Yujiro blushed slightly as she held up her shirt, revealing her seal as well. Yujiro's blush deepened as Naruto looked at it. I'd like you to teach me Fuinjutsu so I can free Nibai as well. I know it's selfish, but I really consider Nibai my friend. My very perverted friend." but I don't think she belongs in a cage. She should have freedom just like anyone else, Yujiro said. Kitten, Nebai exclaimed, surprised at Yujito's willingness to assist her. Yujito had always been a friend of hers, from the day she was sealed to the present. She'd always been with Yujito, so this was incredible. Naruto smiled at his fiancée and patted her shoulder, making the older blonde appear hopeful. Sure, Yugi-Heim, I understand how you feel. I don't mind at all. Just know that Fuinjutsu isn't for everyone. Turns out that Fu-chan just has a natural for it. Even though I sped it up with her training using the seal concentration kanji on her head, she still had a better handle on it. Just don't feel overwhelmed. If you don't know something, then tell me, and on some level, he, Jiraiya, Kushina, Kyuubi, and Fu were the only masters still alive that the blonde was aware of. Perhaps there were more that he was unaware of. Thank you, Naruto-kun, Yujito said, kissing him on the cheek as they both retired for the night. Somewhere out in the boonies, on the 10 hands, 9 figures appeared. The Akatsuki members gathered as Hidden and Kakuzu dropped the Gobai Jinchuriki in front of everyone. Not at all. He was still a pain in the ass. Tell me, why are we gathering these guys so early? Weren't we going to wait 2 years before all of this? Hidden grumbled as Nagato looked down at him. Silence, Hidden, and just do your job. We're not sealing him yet. We need to capture the others first or the seal will break. Does anyone have news on the others? Nagato inquired as Sasori and Deidara spoke. The Ikubai Jinchuriki hasn't done anything in a while. It appears that something interesting is happening and they're trying to select their Godame Keisuke. It won't happen for a while, but we'll keep an eye on him, Sasori said to him, making Nagato nod while Zetsu and Orochimaru spoke. The Nanabi Jinchuriki, like the Kyuubi Jinchuriki, is in Konoha, and it appears that she lives with him as part of his clan, Orochimaru said, making Itachi narrow his eyes. I heard the Nibai Jinchuriki is also in Konoha, and they made a political marriage to Kumo of the Kyuubi Jinchuriki and the Nibai Jinchuriki, Kakuzu said, laughing. Well, the Kyuubi Jinchuriki must have grown into quite the stud since we last saw him. I can't wait to take another shot at him, Kasama said. But Itachi closed his eyes. It turns out that the Godame Hokage, Tsunade Senju, has left the village for a period of time, and the village named the Kyuubi Jinchuriki as the new Rokudame Hokage, Itachi told them, making Kasama widen his eyes while Orochimaru lightly seethed at the thought but ignored it. That brat, really? Well damn, I wonder what makes him so special, Kasama thought to himself as Nagato's gaze remained fixed. Kasama, Itachi, I'm taking you off the Kyuubi Jinchuriki, Pain said, drawing a gasp from Kasama and a sigh from Itachi. Why? I'm not afraid of no guppy, I can take him on, Kasama said as Itachi turned to face him. Kasama, that guppy broke my Tsukuyomi. We're all underestimating his growth, so don't get ahead of yourself, Itachi said as Pain nodded. Conan and I will take care of the Kyuubi Jinchuriki when the time comes, and no one is allowed to go after him during that time, so you will not go after the Nibai Jinchuriki or the Nanabi Jinchuriki. Instead, focus on the Yonbai, Rokubai, and Sanbai when you find it. The Ikubai can wait, Pain said as people left. Pain and Conan both came from his astral project. The two looked out at their rain-soaked country. Aim no Kuni was a peaceful place. There wasn't much crime because everyone was afraid of God and his angel passing judgment on them. Nagato, if we leave the Kyuubi Jinchuriki alone for too long, he may grow too powerful, even for silence Conan. It doesn't matter how powerful he is. I am a god. He will never beat me, Pain said before a spatial distortion revealed Madara to both of them. Don't be arrogant, Nagato. You know your limitations better than anyone. Itachi said the kid possessed the Uchiha clan's main Jikaiu Sharingan, which alone makes him terrifying. Don't go acting arrogant. You agreed with my Tsuki no Mi project. With it, I will have a power that rivals Madara Uchiha, Tobai said as Nagato and Conan narrowed their eyes at him. HMPH, I said I agreed with it. Not that you called all the shots here, just do your part, and we'll do ours, Nagato said as he exited quickly. Meanwhile, Conan fixed his gaze on Madara. Not to mention that you haven't met the other Akatsuki besides Itachi, Pain, myself, and Orochimaru. I still don't like you, Conan said as he walked away, rubbing the back of Tobai's head. Ouch, why are they being so mean to me? Tobai is a good boy, the man in the orange mask said as he walked away. Suna has. As Temari opened the letter, she sighed. The council appeared to be in charge until they could erect a new Keisuke. She had been taken aback when Gaara said he would handle the position. Temari and Kenkuro were generally supportive of their brother, but they were aware that the rest of the village was still coming to terms with him. Gaara still had some detractors, but he also had some supporters. Matsuri and Sari, two girls who liked him but weren't yet shinobi. It was incredible to witness something like this. Temari widened her eyes as she opened the letter. She looked at it and yelled quickly, "Gaara, Kenkiro, come here now." Temari yelled, and the two boys dashed down their house's stairs. Kenkiro asked, "What are you yelling about?" Temari handed them the letter. Kenkiro scanned it and exclaimed as he handed it to Gaara. The Ikabai Jinchuriki narrowed his eyes as he looked at it. He smiled as he looked out the window. "That guy, he's always surprising," Kenkiro said, nodding. "Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, you've done it. Now it's my turn to show my village that I can do more," Gaara said aloud, convincing Temari and Kenkiro to agree. Hokage Gates returns to Konoha in the morning. As the guards let Naruto, Fu, and Kushina pass, they were on their way. They flew to Uzumaki, but Naruto left 2 clones to train with Kyuubi and continue his duties as the Rokudame Hokage of Konoha. "So, Kachan, how long until we get there?" Naruto asked as Kushina took out her map and turned to face Naruto. "It took about a day and a half. Not for long. Let's get this party started. If we're lucky, what they have intact will be useful to the village," Kushina said as they dashed off into the forest. Mission space. Naruto and Iruka were sitting next to each other when the Chunin chuckled lightly, causing the blonde to look at him in confusion. "Is there something amusing?" he inquired, shaking his head while resting his elbows on the table. "Nothing, Naruto. All those years just seemed to fly by. You are the genin who won Rookie of the Year 2 years ago. 6 months later, you took the Chunin exams, became a Tokibetsu Jonin, and are now the Rokudame Hokage of Konoha. You've accomplished more in your life than most Jonin. It's a nice feeling," Iruka said as Naruto leaned against the table. "I understand what you mean. It's an odd sensation, but I like it. I only hope that I can be a good cage to everyone and protect them all as best I can," Naruto told him. And Iruka smiled as they entered the room and saw Asuma, Ino, Choji, and Shikamaru come through the door. "Good morning, Hokage-sama," Asuma said, to which Naruto nodded and Ino sighed. "I never thought I'd see him behind that desk." "The world is a strange place," Choji said before Asuma rubbed the back of his neck and Naruto laughed. "I suppose so. Now, onto your mission. I was able to go through everyone's files and mission records 2 days ago, and you all have an impressive one. Because HPT-chans took some time, I'll assign you a C-rank mission. This mission instructs you to deliver this message to Suna. Take it to them right away." Ba-chan was going to mail it, but she ran away, leaving that land to me. "So, please get that done," Naruto said, prompting everyone to nod. "Understood, Hokage-sama," Asuma said as he and his team were escorted out of the room. And Naruto sighed in relief before seeing Haku and Kiba walk through the door, both smiling, and Naruto joined them in their smile. "Do you have a good mission for us, Naruto?" Kiba inquired, and Iruka was about to tell Kiba to respect Naruto when the blonde interrupted him. "Don't worry, Iruka. I want them to be relaxed around me. They have no need for Sama or Hokage. It's just Naruto. So, Kiba and Haku, I've got a good mission for you. It'll be the first time you're on your own. I hope you'll be fine," Naruto said as Haku smiled gently and Kiba gave him a thumbs up. "What are you on about, man? We're going to be fine." "Don't worry," Kiba said, and Naruto simply nodded as he looked up. "Are you doing this by yourself?" Naruto inquired, and the two nodded as Naruto sighed. "I already feel left out," Naruto said, placing his head on the desk, while Haku and Kiba chuckled at the blonde before Haku patted him on the shoulder. "Come on, Naruto-kun, we could take one next week or something. Perhaps a B-rank mission to get you out of the village," Haku suggested. And Naruto agreed, leaning up and giving them their mission. "Your mission is of the B rank. You're supposed to go to Tanzakugai and help protect it because it's been targeted by bandits recently. Hope to it, guys," Naruto said. And the two agreed before running out the door while Naruto slumped in his chair, making Iruka laugh. "Are you missing the action?" he asked, and Naruto nodded. His old self might have wanted an S-rank mission, but he wasn't that insane. Even if he was a clone, he'd have to wait for them to return. Boss's fate. He's leaving for Uzumaki while I'll be staying here. It's not fair. The clone thought as Hinata, Shino, Sakura, and Kurenai entered. "Well, how are you doing, guys?" Naruto inquired as Hinata and Shino bowed, causing the blonde sweat drop. "We're fine, Hokage." Hinata paused when she noticed Naruto's playful glare, then corrected herself with a light giggle. "No problem, Naruto-kun. We're ready to begin our mission," Hinata said, and Naruto nodded, turning to Kurenai with a smile. "I suppose you get away from the secretary work," he said, and Kurenai nodded with a playful grin. "You are correct. I'd like to assign a C-rank mission to my team, Naruto," Kurenai said, avoiding the kun in public. "I see, that's all right with me. Are you certain that everyone is up to the task?" Naruto asked, and Kurenai nodded, knowing he was talking about Sakura. He wasn't being mean, but he wanted to be realistic. After all, she was one of his precious students. It made Naruto wonder if he could build a dojo for his clan. It was an idea to ponder for another time. Alright, the following is your C-rank mission. Best wishes, Kurenai-san, Hinata-chan, and Shino-san. Good luck, Sakura, Naruto said as they all left, and Iruka sighed as she looked at Naruto's face. What's the matter? He inquired, and the blonde leaned his head into one of his arms. It's insignificant. I just have to get used to the fact that some people will not see me as a suitable Hokage leader, Naruto said as Iruka sat back. It's easy. Do you have faith in your abilities? He inquired, and Naruto quickly replied that he did, trusting in his own abilities. Then don't be concerned about others. People will come around, Iruka reasoned, and Naruto could see where he was coming from. I suppose you're correct. Well, I guess I'll do something while waiting for others, Naruto said, snapping his fingers, and a white hooded Anbu wearing a bird mask appeared behind him. Are you sure, Hokage-sama? He inquired, his gaze narrowed. Would you please go get Shikaku-san for me? I'll need him to look into something for me, Naruto said to the Anbu, who quickly obeyed and then left. What do you need to investigate? Iruka inquired, and Naruto remained silent, a small smile on his face, leaving Iruka in the dark. The Forest of Death. Kyuubi sat in the forest with Naruto, and the blonde easily made a kunai and smiled. How are you, Kyuubi-chan? He asked as Kanari examined it. Kyuubi had also left a clone behind to assist Naruto in the next stages of yin release and the beginning stages of yang release. This is excellent, Naruto-kun. The metal and weight are slightly off, but everything else is fine. Remember that to make an exact copy, you must facto R in everything. Now try it again, and once you've mastered it, we'll move on to bigger things. Given the scarcity of chakra, it is now impossible to create anything. Just keep going as soon as possible. Now, enough of that. Now is the time to begin learning yang release, the power that rules over life. You will now animate the inanimate objects in some way. Go for it, Kyuubi said, scratching the back of Naruto's head. But where do I begin? I have no idea how to add yang release. It was all about letting my imagination do the work with the yin release. I can't do that with yang release, Naruto explained, to which Kyuubi agreed. That is why you must concentrate. Don't worry, it will become second nature to you one day, but for the time being, you must learn them separately. To combine them is much more difficult than this, but I know you can do it, Kyuubi said. And Naruto agreed, closing his eyes and picking up a kunai and feeling it with his hands. Shut your eyes. Consider chakra entering your object. Allow your chakra to flow from your body to your inanimate object. Maintain a steady pace and avoid overexertion of your chakra. Maintain a steady pace. Very good, Naruto-kun, Kyuubi said as she watched Naruto's chakra pour into his object. Sweat dripping from his face as he tried, but he soon opened his eyes and huffed as the chakra faded. Kyuso, I had it, Kyuubi-chan, Naruto said, and Kyuubi shook her head, perplexed. You were adding chakra, but you were enhancing it rather than bringing it to life. Keep it steady, as I instructed. This isn't something you can imitate, Naruto-kun, and it requires even more chakra to master. Just keep it up, Kyuubi said, and Naruto nodded, his confidence returning as they took a break. So, what exactly do you do at the Hokage mansion? Kyuubi inquired, and Naruto sighed. They're probably still handing out mission reports. I'm not sure. I hope the boss is having a good time on his trip. Who knows what they'll discover there, the Naruto clone said, rising to his feet. And what are your plans? Kyuubi inquired, rubbing the back of his head. Well, I might as well practice my Mokyuten techniques, let alone Kimimaro-san's. Can you also look at my eyes, Kyuubi-chan? Naruto asked, and Kyuubi nodded. Of course, but why? They shouldn't be hurting or anything, Kyuubi said, shaking his head. No, they don't feel that way. Very good. Like it more since the HPT. The Amaterasu and Tsukuyomi are both beneficial. Do you understand why? Naruto inquired, and Kyuubi narrowed her gaze. Naruto-kun, use the Sharingan, she said, and Naruto opened his eyes to the Sharingan, which Kyuubi examined before speaking. Not Manjikyo, she said, and the Sharingan twisted into a spiral around the corner of Naruto's center pupils. Kyuubi narrowed her eyes and placed a finger on her chin. They weren't always like that. Do you remember meeting any other Sharingans besides Kakashi's, Naruto-kun? Kyuubi inquired, and the blonde reflected in his memory. The only person I recall is Itachi. When he came for me during my mission with Kiba and Haku to find Tsunade Bachan, I had my Shinsei Nagan activated. I recall breaking his Tsukuyomi with mine. Why? Naruto inquired, and Kyuubi gazed off into the distance. I designed your Dojutsu to couple anything it sees. So you had Kakashi's Sharingan first, followed by the Manjikaiu Sharingan. When you saw attaches, I believe the two Sharingans combined to give you the eternal Manjikaiu Sharingan. However, if this is the case, your eyes should not have been hurting in the first place. Why should they stop hurting right now? She was perplexed, and Naruto's eyes narrowed. Perhaps because I had to adjust to it. He wondered if that was enough, while Kyuubi sighed. It'll do for now, but I'll look into it. That shouldn't happen, but whatever. For the time being, you can spar with me until you feel you've had enough practice, Kyuubi said. And Naruto could agree. Alright, Kyuubi-chan. Here I come, Naruto said, and Kyuubi nodded with a smirk. The Hokage mansion. Before Shikaku entered the door, the Naruto clone sighed with Iruka, rubbed the back of his head, and stood before Naruto. Did you call for me, Naruto? Shikaku inquired, and the blonde nodded while holding up a book, the book on sword mythology mentioned in Raymond's journal. Yes, please forward this to the Konoha analyst team. I didn't even realize we had one until recently, which I think is cool. In any case, could you please review the contents of this book and get back to me? It's very important, Naruto said, and Shikaku took the book from him. Alright, no harm done. At least there's no real work involved, he said as he walked away, leaving Naruto and Iruka alone, and it was then that Shizune appeared at the door, holding a scroll. Shizune said, Naruto-kun, you've got a message from Kiri, and the blonde raised an eyebrow, wondering what that was all about before opening it and scanning the contents with his hands trembling. Boss, this wasn't the time to take a break. You must return here, the clone exclaimed in thought before rising to its feet. So the Mizukage wishes to meet with me. That was unexpected, considering my chakra won't last that long. The clone reflected on the last part. What should we do now? Shizune inquired, and Naruto's eyes narrowed. Stay here, I'll be right back, the clone said as it left Shizune and Iruka in the Hiraishin. With the genuine Naruto, Fu, and Kushina hopped through the trees towards Uzugakure until he was stopped by a flash of yellow lightning. Boss, the clone yelled, causing Naruto, Fu, and Kushina to stop for a few moments and turn around. Huh? Didn't I leave you in Konoha? Naruto inquired, and the clone nodded. Yes, but this is an emergency. The Mizukage is on his way to greet you. They sent us a letter, the clone said, narrowing his eyes. There isn't any way. A letter from Kiri would take at least 3 to 4 days, and no one should know about my being Hokage just yet, Naruto sighed. News travels quickly, Naruto-kun, she said, and the blonde realized she was right. One of our shinobi intercepted the message and raced back to deliver it to the village. That's why it arrived sooner than expected. So, what are we to do? The clone inquired, and Naruto sighed as this unfavorable timing before turning to the clone. Put a seal on my chair for the Hiraishin and tell Shizune to prepare a spot for the Mizukage's arrival. I'm not sure what Kiri has in mind for me, but I'm sure I'll find out soon. Ka-chan, how long will it take for us to get to Uzugakure? Naruto inquired, and Kushina sighed. A day now, she said, putting a finger to his chin. How long does Kiri take to get to Konoha? Naruto inquired, and Kushina considered her options because she had previously visited Kiri, and Sandaime Mizukage was a peculiar character. About 3 or 4 days, Kushina said, nodding. Alright, we'll go on to Uzugakure. We'll have to step up a few things, but I think we'll be fine. Then return to Konoha. I'll try to hurry. Man, this isn't going well, Naruto said as the clone and Naruto's group vanished. The Hokage mansion. Hiraishin headed back to the office, where Shizune was waiting for him. Shizune begins to prepare. We're about to welcome the Mizukage to Konoha, Naruto said with a smile, and Shizune nodded and left with a small bow. I just hope everything goes as planned, the blonde thought to himself before returning to the work he needed to finish before Mei Terumi arrived.
So this was it for today. I will continue the story next part. Till then, we weave offline.